Good time to talk about change. It was a good time to talk about change. For everything, there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to seek and a time to lose. A time to tear and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. And along with that, I added these few verses from Isaiah chapter 43. I am your Lord, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. Do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. I wonder if you've ever had this experience. You walk into a group of old friends, longtime friends, and they look at you and they say, "You haven't changed a bit." Has anyone ever told you that? You haven't changed a bit. Don't believe them. It's not about hair color or style or wrinkles or lack thereof. Change is not always immediately visible. Is there anyone here who can say, really, they have not changed? They are exactly as they always have been. Heart, mind, understanding, perspective, even faith, exactly as it has always been. You haven't evolved at all. I look back at my life, the child, the teenager, the 20-something, the 30-something, I could go on. They were all named Ruth, but each one of them had a different season. And then the winds of time moved on. Alice in Wonderland said, "I knew who I was this morning, but I have changed a few times since then." I can relate. Think of your own lives, the years, months, days, even hours ago. The seasons change, and so do we. But as we face the unknown around us, do we see change as good or bad? Creative or destructive? Gradual or sudden? Well, it depends. Do you welcome it or resist it? Is it exciting or scary? Or all of the above? You and I have experienced and will continue to experience all kinds of passing seasons. And just when we are settled into our comfort zone, something shifts. Sometimes we know why, sometimes we don't. Often our life feels out of our control, and we are forced to make decisions and do things we just as soon not do. But whatever unfolds, with God's help, we can respond. Maybe doing a delicate dance sometimes between resisting the river and going with the flow a little bit, but we do hopefully come to terms with each new season in our lives. To all the changes, don't be blind. There is no way to stay behind. It's just a question if we dare to meet the future and show we care. I'm leaving that up in the air. You will be finishing that song later. We don't greet tomorrow defenselessly, for our faith reminds us that God will be there wherever there is. How will life play out? How will the winds blow? How will love do love's work? That's not clear. But the seasons come and go, whether we are ready or not. The wind blows and carries us on to our new season, our next season, but never away from God. A quick glance at world history, and you can see this has always been going on. There's constant creation, destruction, and something new created. Think of the great Roman Empire, which was. And what about the British Empire, where supposedly the sun never set because the empire consisted of so much land, so many territories, that it was always daylight somewhere. That was the British Empire. And now we are in a world with Russia, an example of might, injustice, greed for power. And it seems like Russia is writing the chapter and the end of the story the way they want it. But it is only a chapter. And in our own country, where too many people in positions of authority are choosing to be in control of all of our lives, taking away civil rights and human rights, whatever their reason for their behavior, people corrupted by power may have their season, but they are not immortal. They are certainly not God. They are not the Alpha and Omega. Love will have its way. And we can help. We can be agents of change, positive change, by being on the side of love. We all know the church is changing. A lot of churches, not just Skyline, not just the UCC. If we as a church are not responding to the needs of the world, we're not doing our job. If we really believe that God is still speaking, we will welcome and encourage healthy change. Still, churches, and sometimes we individually, can be as stubborn as a 2-year-old and end up worshiping doctrine and tradition rather than God. We divide rather than unite humanity. According to doctrine, the Catholic Church serves communion only to members in good standing, and I'm not sure exactly what that means. I know a few things it includes. And yet, any kind of closed communion has always seemed to me to be an oxymoron. And I am reminded of an event that I went through at one point, about 20 years ago, when I was taking a week-long workshop for training to be an interim minister. It was only Protestant clergy, but we, at the end of our time together, we had been sharing everything. We'd really developed a community, as you can imagine. We were educating each other, and we were just sharing with each other and talking about change. So we were going to put together a worship service to really solidify our community at the end of this week. And we assumed, most of us, that we would have communion. Except that one of our brothers in Christ was from a denomination, not Catholic, which would not approve of sharing the sacrament ecumenically. The rest of us were stunned. I wonder how a denomination like that responds to the LGBTQ community. How do they respond to interracial marriage? To prejudice of any kind of difference or what they're used to. You know the phrase, there's an app for it? I have met many people who try to justify their exclusivity, their behavior, by saying, oh, there's a Bible verse for that. And I'm sure you've heard a few. But on the flip side, I had an even more unexpected experience concerning communion. A priest that I had worked with in San Francisco, and with whom Dave and I had become close friends, was on temporary assignment at a Catholic church in Kauai at the same time Dave and I were doing interim work at the UCC there. When it came time for Father Bruce's farewell, his celebration before he returned to San Francisco, he, along with his brother's approval, asked us to process in our robes with all the Catholic clergy and to be seated in the front row. That was a first for many. Also, he assured us that we would be served communion. The presiding bishop either didn't get the message or chose to ignore it. And when it came time for him to serve communion, he served the priest to Dave's left, walked by me, walked by Dave, walked by me, and served the priest to my right. This elderly priest took his wafer, broke it into 3 pieces, and shared it with Dave and me. And his words were, "This is what it's all about." That priest embraced a new way of looking at his church's old tradition. By doing that, he himself became an agent for change. And friends, this is a calling we all have, to be agents for change. Such action can be contagious, encouraging others to open their windows to let in a fresh breeze, healthy air, positive, refreshing wind, which will enrich life by bringing us all closer to God. One of my favorite authors, James Baldwin, said, that great, inspiring writer, he said, "I write in order to change the world." I write in order to change the world. If you said that, maybe the word right wouldn't be right for you. But what word could you put in place? In order to change the world. Skyline Community Church exists in order to change the world. And how do they exist? How do they behave? This is a wonderful thing to keep in mind, that what you are and what you do can help to change the world. Now, Baldwin was enough of a realist to say, not everything that is faced can be changed. But he added to that, nothing can be changed until it is faced. And he goes on to say this, if you alter even by a millimeter the way people look at reality, then you can change it. How about that for a motto? If you can even alter something by a millimeter and change the way people look at things, then you can change things. How about that motto to help you set your goals as an individual and as part of a church. In the midst of life's uncertainty, be assured there is a constant, a source of love and strength, which accompanies us through everything. And there is that spark of God at the core of our very being, enabling us to be agents of change. So expect the unexpected, not with fear, but with faith. Continue to learn from everything that happens and to put love into action. The winds of time are blowing free to clear the sky so we can see this isn't death, but life anew. For in our faith we know it's true that love will have its way. Help love to have its way. That's what life is all about. Amen.
Hello, there it is. One thing that Pastor Ruth has been a huge fan of and that I love we've taken part in is a little crowd participation. So we're going to learn a song that Pastor Ruth wrote. If you look, you should have the lyrics to The Winds of Change. She just sang a snippet of the melody for you, but I'm going to demonstrate it. It's pretty simple. It's just two pieces. It sounds like this. Da 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 da. Da 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 and up. Da 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 and down. Join me. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. So, for example, if I were to put verse 1 in there, it might sound a little something like this. See if you can catch verse 1 with me. 1 and 2 and sing. The winds of change are blowing strong, and life is carried right along. So let us stretch our wings and soar on all our dreams worth living. And then the chorus sounds like this. And love will have its way. And love will have its way. Sing that with me. And love will end up. The second one ends down. Love will have its way again. And love will have its way. And love. And then it ends like this. 2, 3. We know. Beautiful. Back to the top on verse 1. The winds of time are blowing strong, and life is carried right along. So let us stretch our wings and soar on all our dreams worth living for. Chorus. And love will have its way. 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 We know. Y'all sound mighty nice. Care to join me for verse 2? The winds of times are blowing, but we can hold to what will last. On God with whom we've traveled far, you will remain our guiding star. And love will have its way. 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 We know. Verse 3. Here we go. To all the changes, don't be blind. There is no way to stay behind. It's just a question if we dare to meet the future and show we care. That love will have its way. 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 We know. And our last verse, verse 4. The winds of time are blowing free to clear the sky so we can see. This isn't death but life anew, for in our faith we know it's true. That love will have its way. That love will have its way. That love will have its way. That love will have... Loop the chorus one more time. That love will have its way. 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 We know.
Thank both of you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You may be seated. Now, as we enter our time of prayer, I would ask each of you, including those online, we can hear you when allowed, I think. I'm not sure exactly how the technical part works. But if you would like to share something that we can have in our minds and hearts, not only this morning, but in the coming week, we would ask that you now indicate that. And here, of course, you can raise your hand. Is there anyone who has anything they would like to offer for prayer? Yes.
A prayer for David, Gara, and Al Figueroa on the loss of their father and husband, Claude. Wishing them to feel better about that.
Yes, they are certainly continuing to move through the process of realizing that Claude has died. I got a text from David this morning. He was hoping to be here, but he is sick, so he wasn't able to make it. But keep David and Al in your prayers. It's been a tough time, but if they know they have some support, I know that'll make a big difference to them. Is there anyone else or anything else that you would like to bring up for prayer at this time? Yes, they did read.
Yeah, they were very happy to, they were so happy to receive the gift certificates that we all donated to, and we had a nice little chat, for a very brief chat, and they're dealing with the grief and all, yeah.
One of many ways a church family can show that love will have its way. It's by supporting them.
And also, prayers for Becky as she embarks on her adventure. I understand she's leaving on Tuesday. Is that right? Do you want to say?
I am leaving Tuesday evening, flight at 7 p.m. I'm shipping some boxes by FedEx. You have to list every little thing in it, and 4 pieces of luggage, and a hard carrier for dog Daisy. She's gotten all the approvals. The administrative stuff has been quite overwhelming. I didn't really feel emotional this morning until Sheila came over to me and we hugged. This is my last service, at least for some time. I have told by the way, I have leased a beautiful home in Ajijic, Lake Chapala, Mexico. When we leave Tuesday night at 7, I changed flights just to get a direct flight because of her, my dog. I'll be picked up by a friend who lives there, and we go directly to the house. I can't wait. I've been in constant touch with the landlord and landlady. It's a beautiful home. It's got a yard. It's got grass for my dog, which is fabulous. And I collected all my legal documents that I need, birth certificate, passport, driver's license, you name it. But I also found my certificate of church membership, and I'm bringing it with me. I will look for, now I will go church hopping once again, which I did for some years before I found the Skyline. I will miss you all. What is really big in that area is using WhatsApp. For if you have it, please use it. My cell phone number is attached to it. If you don't have it, download it because we can talk and have video chats, which I've had with several people, including the landlady down there.
Can you leave information at the office here in terms of how you can be reached, your address, that sort of stuff?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I have a new local address.
Yeah. Well, if you'll write that down and leave any information in the office, then we'll make sure that.
Sure, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. What a
So-
wonderful adventure.
It will be an adventure. I have no idea how long I will be there. I have no idea if I'm really going to like it, but I'm going to give it a chance. I'm telling myself the first 6 months I will reevaluate, but in fact I'll be reevaluating every day. And after that, I don't know. I'll just go where the winds blow me, but with some careful thought and certainly safety. But I will miss you all, and I will be back. It's just a matter of time.
Thank you so much.
I just asked for prayers for everyone that my friend Maureen's life touched. The first anniversary of her death was yesterday. And
I'm sorry I couldn't hear you.
I'm asking for prayers for everyone that whose lives Maureen Mullaney touched. She was my best friend and died a year ago yesterday. And for prayers for my family and friends for the upcoming first anniversary of my father's death coming up in a few weeks. So just it's a season of mourning first anniversaries for me.
Thank you for sharing that. Let us now prepare our hearts for prayer with the Today chant that we have been doing.
Holy Spirit, come to us. Holy Spirit, come to us. Spirit, come to us. Holy 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 Spirit, come to us.
God of yesterday, today, and all our tomorrows, we come before you this morning realizing how much motion there is in life. That it is not stagnant, that you are not stagnant, but rather flowing, forever creating, forever changing our world. We think of that great change maker, Jesus the Christ. And look at some of what he did in his life on earth. We look for guidance from his actions as to how we too can be agents of change. That we too can show that love will win out in the end. And even along the way, many, many, many times. Today we offer prayers for those who are going through tough seasons. The season of grief, which reminds us of the people we loved who are no longer in this world with us, but who meant so much to us that we still carry them in our hearts. We ask, too, for strength for people whose lives are going to be in a different part of the world. People who are moving. Be with Becky as she tries out this new chapter in her life. Let it be exciting and inspiring and filled with love. We pray for the long seasons that some people are living in, destitute, hungry, homeless. Those who are trying to fight their way out of a bad situation. Let us be aware of those who can't do that on their own and find ways to be agents of change for others. We pray for Skyline Community Church, as it faces a future, much of it unknown, because our futures are often unknown. And yet, do give us the spirit to be agents of change, of positive change. And give us the strength to know that we're not alone in doing your work. Be with those who are sick, those who are in the season of dying, those who have gone through tough times and just needs to know your presence. Help us to be your presence as much as we can. We pray for the world, which is changing in scary ways. The environment does not seem to be changing for the better, and yet we know that this is not your plan, oh God. Help us again to be agents of change. And help us to love our enemies. Help us to love those we feel are changing things in the wrong way. Help us to make peace instead of war, in such a way that the peace is contagious and something that other people want to do also. All of this we pray in the name of the one who changed so many of us and continues to do so through us, Jesus the Christ, who taught us to say together, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Let us now, with grateful hearts, give our offerings. And now we are invited. An open invitation. God invites us to this table. Jesus invites us to this table to remind us of God's presence with us at all times. As Jesus was sitting with his disciples, he took his bread and broke it. And after blessing it, he offered it to his disciples, saying, "When you eat this, remember me." Remember. And then Jesus took the cup. And after giving thanks, he offered it to his disciples as he offers it to us now. And he said, "This cup is the cup of the new covenant, the promise that I will be with you always." We are now invited to this table.
Let us break bread together on our knees. Let us break bread together on our knees. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, my God, have mercy on me. Let us break bread together on our knees. Let us break bread together on rising sun. O Lord, have mercy on me. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, O God, have mercy on me.
Let us join now in the unison prayer of thanksgiving. Gracious God, we are grateful for this bread and cup and what they symbolize, your presence and your love for us, which knows no bounds. Renewed at this table, may we go forth in faith and joy, eager to live out our parts in a changing and precious world, created and beloved by you. Amen.
Yep, that's me. Hi, hello. We are going to have our closing hymn, which is found in your New Century Hymnal on 293, the one that was actually correct today. Sweet, Sweet Spirit, 293 in your hymnal, and it's only 2 verses, so we're going to do both of them. Sweet, sweet Spirit in this place, and I know that is the Spirit of the Lord. There are sweet expressions on each face, and I know they feel the presence of the Lord. Sweet Holy Spirit, sweet heavenly dove, stay right here with us, filling us with your love. And for these blessings, we lift our hearts in praise. Without a doubt, we'll know that we may have been by when we shall leave this place. There are blessings you cannot receive till you know that Spirit's fullness and believe. You're the one to profit when you say, I am going to stay with Jesus all the way. Sweet Holy Spirit, sweet heavenly dove, stay right here with us, filling us with your love. And for these blessings, we lift our heart in praise. Without a doubt, we'll know that we have been revived when we shall leave this place.
And now, as we go forth, let us go forth in wonder, wondering what tomorrow will bring rather than fearing. Wonder what tomorrow will bring and wonder what you can do. And let that wonder and the Spirit of God inspire you as you go forth. I'd also like to take a moment to say thank you at this point for my time with you. It has been such a blessing to me. And I know that looking forward to your next chapter, your next season, when Pastor Laurie is back here, that you will have changes in your lives, as we all do. But in some ways, we all are changing in, I would like to say, the change is positive. So let's keep that in mind, that there's change and then there's good change. Sort of like good trouble. Good change. As you go forth, may God bless you. And may God be with you. May you know that God is with you. And may you know the peace that passes all understanding. Amen.
And also, we want to thank you, Ruth, for being with us for this time. Thank you so much.